Browns reportedly down to 3 finalists for DC job. According to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, the Browns are down to 3 finalists for their defensive coordinator job, including Texans passing game coordinator Cory Undlin, Browns linebackers coach Jason Tarver, and Falcons passing game coordinator Mike Rutenberg. Cabot mentions that both Undlin and Tarver have prior NFL coordinator experience, which could give them an advantage for the position. Undlin, 54, began his coaching career as the linebackers coach at California Lutheran. He took his first NFL coaching job in 2004 as a defensive coaching assistant for the Patriots. From there, Undlin worked for the Browns, Jaguars and Broncos before the Eagles hired him as their DB's coach in 2015. The Lions hired him as their defensive coordinator for the 2020 season, but he was let go after 1 year and spent 2 years in San Francisco as a pass game specialist/secondary coach. Houston hired Undlin in 2023 as their defensive pass game coordinator, and he's remained in that role since. In 2020, the Lions' defense ranked number 32 in yards allowed, number 32 in points allowed, number 28 in rushing yards, and number 30 in passing yards. Tarver, 51, began his NFL coaching career with the 49ers as an offensive quality control assistant before being promoted a few times over the course of 10 years in San Francisco. He elected to depart for the defensive coordinator position at Stanford in 2011, but was later hired by the Raiders to run their defense a year later. Tarver was hired by the 49ers as their linebackers coach in 2015 through 2017 and was hired by Vanderbilt as their defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. The Browns hired Tarver as their new linebackers coach for the 2020 season. Rutenberg, 44, got his start in coaching as an intern with Washington in 2013, then moved to the college game for several years. He returned to the NFL as an assistant DB coach with the Jaguars in 2013 and held multiple roles in Jacksonville until 2019. The 49ers hired him as a passing game specialist in 2020 before he joined the Jets as their LB coach in 2021. He took a defensive pass game coordinator role with the Falcons in 2025. The wind off Lake Erie has always carried a certain electricity in late winter, the kind that hints at change. In Berea, inside the halls of the Cleveland Browns facility, that feeling is more than seasonal. It's strategic. It's urgent. And according to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, the Browns have narrowed their search for a new defensive coordinator to 3 finalists: Cory Undlin, Jason Tarver, and Mike Rutenberg. 3 minds. 3 philosophies. 1 defense waiting to be defined. The veteran technician, Cory Undlin. Cory Undlin's coaching journey reads like a map of the modern NFL. From a linebackers coach at California Lutheran to a defensive assistant with the Patriots dynasty machine, Undlin has lived inside defensive meeting rooms for over 2 decades. Stops in Cleveland, Jacksonville, Denver, and Philadelphia refined his craft, while a stint as defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions in 2020 tested his resilience. That season in Detroit was turbulent. The Lions finished last in both yards and points allowed. But coaching legacies are rarely linear. Undlin rebounded in San Francisco, sharpening his expertise in the secondary before taking over as the Texans' defensive pass game coordinator in 2023. Undlin represents experience. He has called plays. He has felt the pressure of Sundays when nothing works and the criticism that follows. If Cleveland seeks steadiness, a teacher who can elevate a secondary and stabilize situational defense, Undlin offers institutional knowledge and hard-earned perspective. In a division defined by elite quarterbacks and explosive offenses, that pass defense pedigree could be decisive. The familiar architect, Jason Tarver. Jason Tarver's candidacy carries a different energy, continuity. Tarver began in San Francisco as a young assistant and rose through the ranks before stepping into college football at Stanford. His leap to NFL defensive coordinator with the Raiders showcased his tactical confidence, and though his tenure there had mixed results, it cemented his reputation as an aggressive strategist unafraid to disguise pressure. Since 2020, Tarver has been inside the Browns building as linebackers coach. He understands the roster. He knows the culture. He has coached the personalities in that room, the emotional pulse of the defense. That matters. Promoting Tarver would signal belief in internal development. It would preserve language, terminology, and chemistry. In an NFL offseason where change often resets progress, continuity can be a competitive advantage. Tarver's history suggests creativity with blitz packages and linebacker versatility. In Cleveland, where defensive identity has often hinged on physicality and front seven dominance, he may be the candidate best positioned to amplify what already exists. The rising mind, Mike Rutenberg. At 44, Mike Rutenberg represents the next wave. His path has been unconventional, beginning as an intern in Washington, weaving through college football, returning to the NFL with Jacksonville, contributing in San Francisco, and coaching linebackers with the Jets. Most recently, he has worked as the Falcons' defensive pass game coordinator. Rutenberg doesn't bring prior NFL coordinator experience, but he carries something equally compelling: upward trajectory. Modern defenses require adaptability. Offenses evolve yearly, leaning into motion, tempo, spacing, and quarterback mobility. Younger coordinators often reflect those schematic battles more recently fought. Rutenberg's varied roles, defensive backs, linebackers, pass game design, suggest a holistic understanding of defensive structure. Hiring him would be a bet on innovation over tenure, a belief that fresh perspective can unlock hidden strengths. The decision beneath the surface. The Browns' choice isn't just about resumes. It's about philosophy. Do they prioritize experience, Undlin, continuity, Tarver, or evolution, Rutenberg? Each path shapes more than play-calling sheets. It shapes meeting room tone. It shapes player accountability. It shapes how the defense responds after surrendering a 75-yard touchdown, whether it tightens, adapts, or unravels. In the AFC North, margins are razor-thin. One third-down stop in December can alter playoff seeding. One schematic adjustment can swing a rivalry game. The defensive coordinator becomes not just a tactician, but a weekly problem solver tasked with decoding Lamar Jackson's speed, Joe Burrow's precision, and Pittsburgh's physicality. The Browns' roster is not in rebuild mode. It is built to compete now. That urgency adds weight to the decision. Identity in the making. Defensive coordinators imprint personality. Some demand aggression. Blitz-heavy, high-risk, high-reward chaos. Others emphasize discipline, sound gaps, layered coverage, forcing opponents to earn every yard. Some blend both, disguising simplicity as complexity. What Cleveland ultimately wants may determine who stands on the sideline with a laminated call sheet in September. Undlin brings scars and wisdom. Tarver brings familiarity and edge. Rutenberg brings freshness and adaptability. The search narrowing to 3 finalists signals intentionality. This is not a rushed hire. It is a calculated selection process that recognizes how central defensive identity is to sustain success.